Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Actually, we were having a little technical difficulty on YouTube's part. We were getting an internal null 500 error, which means that the server was refusing. So tonight, how are you doing? We have Karen, Queen of Crystal, returning back. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Good, Wayne. How are you? Hi, everybody. Everybody in
Hey.
chat.
Yeah, there is. Hello, Franny. What's up? Brad, hello.
Oh, great.
Maria, yeah, there is a full house here in 44. I'm going to do a show next week on the repetitiveness of like numbers everywhere people are seeing them. So, thank you, moderators. Thank you, everyone. It's in here. I just invoke favor upon everyone listening. And, what we're going to just start doing, Karen, we're just going to start invoking favor to everyone and anyone. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I actually have somebody special later in a few minutes that we can do a special favor on, if that's okay, Wayne, and
Oh,
healing.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody found out something about their sister in our community that's very ill. So, but we'll get into that. And you just do it
Excellent.
you do it so well.
Well,
You're granting,
yeah.
and you do. It just your
You
love
know,
just comes through. So,
this is what I think. I have this little guy right here. And so when I think of the audience in our community, I always think of
Mhm.
this, it's like, well, how can we give this hug that would be received in such a manner that it wouldn't be received, in any other way than positive?
Right.
It's favor, baby.
For sure. Okay.
You and I were talking. It's been about what, 4 months since you
Uh, 3 months to the day.
wow, how fortuitous. I love it. Three, that perfect
Exactly.
number.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we can start. I thought I'd start with sharing a story that just came together about 15 minutes before the show, actually.
Well, I love something fresh. So, all right.
Yeah, well, it started earlier today on your broadcast this afternoon. Somebody I had sent crystals to earlier. I think it's Miss Miller. I'll say her name. She's supposed to be here tonight. And she asked me about the crystals I sent out and whether other people were able to channel with them or, what, they had with them as far as communication, direct communication. I said, so, well, okay, well, I'll think about it and I'll try to come up with something. So we'll start with what happened on the last show. So I was on your show and met so many wonderful people, Wayne. Just I thank you so much. But
Thank
the
you.
response was unbelievable. Hundreds of crystals I sent around the world to all kinds of people. And tonight we're going to talk about the uses for the healing, dreaming, meditation, and whatnot. But I want to address this girl's one about the communication, how crystals work, and how magical and wonderful they can be. So we sent out the crystals, and actually, in behind, it started off. I don't know if you can see, but I had these two wonderful dream crystals that you showed. There was a pair, and one of our wonderful community people bought them. David, I'd like to thank David. He bought the pair of dream crystals, and it enabled me to send actually most of the packages around the world at no shipping to anybody. So everything was complete.
Oh, Karen.
It was
Wow.
and other donations. So it was completely free. Everything went out
Wow.
free. And I got some wonderful gifts back, unbelievable. So I want to thank David. So it started there with the dream crystals and David. So then, right after, I received this email from a very quiet man in the background that I found out that is actually a very powerful wizard. And he asked me for a special crystal, very technical, double terminated. And oh, no, no, you don't have to do that. Okay, anyways, double
Oh,
terminated with very sacred dimensions. It had to be certain sacred geometry and lines. And anyway, so what surprised me about his request was the crystal was sitting right on my desk. He had actually pictured the crystal. It was sitting right here.
really?
Yeah, yeah. I was sitting right here when I answered the email and he described what crystal he wanted. And I'm looking at it and the email, and then I thought, oh, yep, there it is. It's sitting right there. So, so that
I
was the
love
first
this
thing.
community, Karen.
Wait,
Everyone that,
it,
go ahead.
it, it gets even more amazing. So wait till I tell you what happened. So then shortly after that, so that I send that crystal out to the person. Okay. It's from, my special crystals that we talked about being dreamt on the other side. So then I got an email from a very special, I just think this woman is wonderful. Her name's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And she's part of our community and a healer. And you know what she heals, Wayne? She looks after terminally ill cats
Wonderful,
that are
wonderful,
sick.
wonderful.
And she asked for special crystals for healing. And I sent one batch, and then I sent another batch after. And the response for the cats was just phenomenal. You can ask Sarah. She just was so pleased to get these. And she asked for special ones too, like indicolite and some other ones for special chakras that she knew they needed healing with. So, but the thing about Sarah and how this connects as well, so that's one of our healers that just phenomenal, just amazing woman. She mentioned to me and asked me if I was going to go to this witness in the desert,
Yeah.
which I knew nothing about. I thought, oh, witness in the desert, what's that? Okay, so I went online to check out what this was all about with Derek and that whole thing that was going on. And I emailed her and I said, yeah, I think I better go to this witness in the desert. I have a feeling I should really go. And I thought, oh, I'm going to bring a whole pile of crystals for protection for people, or maybe I'll do a crystal circle for protection, or that we can go in, or I wasn't quite sure. Right. But I really, for weeks, I thought I'm going to go to this witness in the desert. So about 2 weeks before, about a week, 2 weeks before, then I get an email from this new wizard that I sent this crystal to, this friend, this powerful person. And he tells me, no, you're not to attend that. You're not to go. He said the feds are going to show up, and he described exactly what happened. And I had decided what from his email that no, I'm not going, because he told me exactly, do not go. This is exactly what's going to happen, and it's not going to, it's not going to manifest how they want it, and there's a good possibility that they won't even be allowed in the park,
Wow.
type of thing. So like really a really dire warning from this person that saw ahead of time, no, I'm not to go. So I didn't go. And Sarah can say that that's true. I was really seriously thinking about going because she had mentioned it. So that was one part. And I'm not sure. And she has one of the crystals from the same pocket. So, and I'm not sure like if she had gone or she was getting news and then the other person picked it up. So that was the warning about going to this particular thing with the desert. So another person that happened as far as meeting with sending out the crystals too was I ended up along that lines, was getting some lovely information from a Cherokee elder. His name is Mountain Hawk. And so I started getting all kinds of prophecies and information from him. He's part of the community as well and deals in plants and herbs. And he just an elder that has so much information about the natives and ancient texts. And so he sent me all kinds of things to go with the witness in the desert and information that I needed about that as well. So he's part of the community too. I just want to tell everybody about all the people we have. And then with the sending out of the crystals too, Wayne, I sent all kinds of healers, like you said, like Suji and tarot readers and Sherry. And like there's so many of them. And now there's Patrick channeling. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
wanted to let this person know how it works, but it gets even about the crystals. So this wizard, so I wanted to see how powerful this wizard was and the connection with the crystal. So we started challenging each other in dreaming and on the other side. And as far as our dreaming and astral body. So, and as far as cats, when I go into lucid dreaming, I use my cat. I have a black cat with me as a marker to know when you wake up and to know what reality you're in.
Mhm.
So that I use my cat as my marker. So if my cat's there and I'm on a mining adventure and I'm in a cave and I'm mining and the cat's there, well, I know it's so real for me, the two worlds, that I know that I'm dreaming, but I'm full consciousness, and then I know, okay, I'm awake. So I use my cat in dreaming and lucid dreaming and as a protector. So what we would do is see if he could come during the dreaming and astral projecting and lucid dreaming. And yeah, sure enough, at 3 in the morning, my cat, as a protector, would wake me up because I use her to go, only so far, and wake me up. Yeah, no, whenever to come at 3 or 4, whatever time it was, to come to the house. And then not only that, you want to see how this person is. So oh my, amazing. So he got news. Okay, so one night when the cat woke me up and he was flying around my house, and what he does to send messages, he turns on the TV and either plays a cartoon, a song, or a movie saying the exact words that we discuss ahead of time. So I woke up one of the 3 a.m. and the TV's on in the living room, and I hear Futurama, and they're talking about, and this is crazy, about crushed pelvis. That's all that they're talking about during the cartoon. And this was at 3 in the morning. And then the next day, I write an email to this wizard, and he gets the news that his sister has a crushed pelvis. And so he told me in the middle of the night, and that she's very ill. And so this is the person, if we could take a minute, Wayne, and this is what's going on, like to actually astral travel, and it's bothering me at night, but
So,
but actually, and sending messages through the television of all things.
well, listen,
So,
it's both a receiver and a transmitter.
oh yes, and so I wanted to show this other girl about, she wanted to know about how it connects the crystals from person to person in direct communication, and depending, your energy and knowledge and what level now this person is elderly and has practiced his whole life as well.
So I want to share something
sorcerer
with the group on this, and you and I had briefly alluded to it. Ladies and gentlemen, what you don't realize is that if you're actually listening to us, watching us, those of you who are in the chat room communicating, we're actually communicating on a crystal. All computers are crystalline based, silicon. Now, Karen, when you sent me this crystal, this is a powerful crystal because I use this, and in my office, the amethyst that you sent me is all over the place. I mean, you walk into my office, you would think that, that I was probably a shop for you, because there's amethyst everywhere. And what I have found, my dear, is that when I get into a meditative state and I begin to really, what I'll do with this crystal here, I'll put it into the center of my chakra and just begin to allow the energy flow to begin to get in. And these things with the amethyst and the shugnite that I have around here as well, it does put you into a frequency. It's transmutable. I really do believe that, Karen.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We're going to get into all the healing and the dreaming. I just wanted to share a part of the family and the story about what was happening since, the crystals. And
Go ahead, hon.
Oh, and I was just going to say, I do have one other story to share, but we can do it at the end.
Let's do the favor invocation right now.
Yes.
And this is for healing. Now, I always like to get somewhat of a mental image. So we're dealing with a woman. Is she midlife? Do we know her age or somewhere?
Yeah, she's midlife, and just probably, around our age.
Okay, cool.
Around our age, yes.
Hey,
and I think her name is good because she's not part of our community, but the sister of one of our members that watches. So, and her name's Belinda. So
great. The name, that's all we need then.
Yeah. So if we can send her lots of love and healing and
yes. So I'm going to So folks, let's just take a minute. Let's just focus our energy. If you have your crystals, by all means, let's get these. And we're just going to focus in on Belinda. And if you could just focus in on, and ladies, you know what your pelvis is. Guys, you ever crack one, you'll know. And so what I'm going to just see, Karen, I'm just going to see as we start invoking favor on those bones that, I just see cells coming together and healing. I see that calcium is being distributed and mended, and that we begin to see, I think, healing take place in her body at an accelerated rate. And we just speak that favor over that healing. It works, folks. That's what I saw. I mean, I was there for a second. I was down in the bone marrow. So,
Yeah, you explained it well. I told you, Wayne, you're so good at it.
well, listen, you've got I always look at it like this, the Star Trek. You got the Scotty. We've got the crystals, Captain.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So you have another story. I love this, and we do wish you well. Thank you, sir. I know we have a lot watching our channel. I know they're in this community. Many don't speak, but they when they do, they speak loudly.
Yep, they sure do, Wayne. Okay, I'm gonna just put on my PowerPoint maybe here. My picture.
Okay, so all
Can
you
you
have to
see
do.
that?
No, not yet.
There?
No.
Oh, why not?
Go down to share.
Let me get my taskbar out at the bottom because it
Okay.
takes up the whole thing here.
Yeah, so you look at share, and you hit that.
I don't know if it'll show my share. It doesn't.
Well, no, all you do, you should have a green icon down at the bottom.
No.
Okay, on Zoom, you don't see that?
Oh, let me go into the Zoom page. I have it minimized.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have a share.
It does not.
No, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. Not at all. Let's go back to our regular screen. So it doesn't matter.
We can see you still. You haven't left us. You never left us.
Okay, I want to get rid of this that I have up on mine that nobody can see, so I can see you.
Yeah, we see you just fine.
Okay, well, just a minute. I want to close this.
Because the night has 1,000 eyes. Anyway, it was less than 10 seconds, so you can't get me on that.
Yeah, there we go.
There
all
we
right,
go.
I'm closing this up. There we go.
All right, so.
All right. So the other story I wanted to say about how everything connects, and again with the crystals and communication. And this is quite an amazing story, and it's actually part of my book. So I'm writing a book, Wayne, and
Congratulations. Great.
yeah, it's about mining and tales of power, and I have it all organized. I have all the stories written, and just a matter of putting them in what order. So this is one of them from the past, and this is a true story. And this happened in the 90s, late 90s. I was going on a vision quest. Oh, I heard you're reading Castaneda's works, are you not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am.
Yes. Yes, good. Well, that was my first introduction when I was in my barely 30.
It's like riding a bicycle, reading his work. Yeah.
Well, it's applied. If you apply his work, that's where I learned basically to do everything that I did so young, like, and understand all about dreaming and creating your dream double and energy. Anyway, so I went on a vision quest and I packed up my backpack and I was going to the jungle, and all I had was a contact name. And so I landed in San Jose, and then I took a smaller biplane with some mining executives up to Liberia to the north near Nicaragua, and with my backpack and my crystals. And I had taken a whole pile of crystals with me and a bunch of carved crystals of heads that I had done. And so I was up at the north part of the country for 2 weeks because I had gone for several months after finishing my very big project at the time for the government, Y2K, as you can imagine. At 99.
Yeah, I remember that.
Signed off on everything, and okay, I'm out of here for a couple months. I did enough. So I spent a couple weeks up the north, and you have to remember, like, I don't know anybody in Central America. I don't speak Spanish. I took my backpack and I went and just had a name. So after 2 weeks in the north part, my contact up there took me to the central of the country, where to another contract to be handed off type of thing. Okay, I don't know these people, just a contact. And when I get there, nobody knows I'm in the country. Nobody knows me, right? Because I just went to this foreign country. So I get dropped off and I meet this man who's been in the jungle for years. Okay. And it's nighttime and, we get to know each other. We talk and we go to our separate rooms. I go to my room for the night. Okay. So the next morning, and the jungle is quite different because everything's outside and the only thing that's screened in are the bedrooms. Everything else is just outdoors. There's no windows, there's no doors. It's just all these, I don't know, it's hard to explain in the jungle. But so I get up the next morning and I look in the mirror and I am covered in head to toe in dots, like spots, like a rash all over my body. And because remember, I'm in the jungle up north for 2 weeks and just traipsing around and exploring and mining and doing things, probably places I shouldn't have been, touching things, who knows? so, so I
Indeed.
wake up and I look in the mirror, and then at the same time, this person who I just met is calling to me saying, somebody is here to see you. Me. And waking me up, come out of the bedroom. Well, I don't want to come out of the bedroom. And what do you mean somebody's here to see me? What are you talking about? How, nobody knows him in this country. Okay. He speaks Spanish and English because he's been there for a while. How could somebody be at the door to see me? So then I go out and there's this medicine man that has come down from the mountain. He's old. His name's Calistro. And in his hand, he's holding a old Pepsi glass bottle with this brown liquid in it. And because I'm at the ocean and he's from the tribe up in the mountains. I like, tell me, Wayne, nobody knows I'm in this country. And he shows up at the door and there's the guy is telling me in English, because he only speaks Spanish, of course, and I don't speak Spanish. And he says, this is for you. And he's telling me how to apply my medicine for my rash that morning and it's this liquid that I smell and it smells like cinnamon and I don't know. And so I apply this for the days he says on my thing. And of course it takes it away. And then in payment, of course, he wants a payment, but he knows what I have. He knows I have the crystals and he knows I have the card crystals. He comes in and I have this beautiful crystal from a peach pocket with pink capping. And it's glassy and it's a man and it looks sort of, and he went right to it and grabbed it. And he knew which one he wanted. That was the one. So he saw it and that was the crystal he took from me. And then that was it. And, that's not it, but, being there months, we had many, many adventures after that and meetings in the jungle. And he became my Toltec, one of my
Well,
teachers.
and let's go back. So he was looking for a specific crystal. Now, obviously, he had been into the astral realm. Otherwise,
Of course.
I don't see how he would have known.
Everything is done in the astral, even with myself. See, I spend most of my time in the astral. That's what I'm trying to get to people. See how it's done when you travel, when you can go into both worlds, right? And you do the same things in both worlds. So yeah, we were able to, he saw me in the astral realm, saw where I was, knew I needed the medicine because he's a medicine man. I had broken out and whatever it was that I had and brought it. And because nobody knew I was in the country. And we met several times. Anyways, there's lots of stories in my book about meetings and
no, I find this fascinating. So
they're called Tales of Power.
I love this. Now, so a rather adventurous woman you were.
Oh yes,
just to say, okay, I don't know the language. I'm going in here in the jungle, right? I mean,
yeah,
Nicaragua is volcanic in jungle, right?
Well, I started up at Nicaragua North, but this was in the center of Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Well,
where I met the medicine man was actually in Costa Rica. And like I said, he became a teacher and
that was my next question. So
yeah, we're still connected. Yeah, became part of a party, a warrior party. And that was back in the 90s.
So, a lot of people, Karen, they write me and they say, well, how do you get into the astral realm? I don't understand this. And I'm sure I can anticipate questions here. Well, how do crystals assist or lend themselves to a person to be able to elevate, to astral project?
Okay. Well, if we want to start at, it all has to do with energy and accumulation of personal power or energy for a person, right?
Okay.
And you have to have the right amount of energy in order to lucid dream or to astral project, right?
Now, when we talk of
And
energy, what is that, because I want people to not to have ambiguity. So when we talk about energy, for instance, my energy is I'm a very happy individual. It's high energy.
yeah, you have
And
a very high frequency or by vibration, but a
yeah,
lot of the people that watch our channel do, and but I'll talk
yes.
about the others that, what types of crystals were asked for all the time and which ones I sent out. But right, energy has to do with how open you are, whether you're a closed system or an open system.
Oh, that's a good word. Karen, spot on those. That's
Because
two.
we're electromagnetic beings, right? And it
Hmm.
all has to do with our chakras and our chakra systems and our system and how, whether they're open or closed. Most people that are ill or have disease or anxiety, depression, most of the emails that I've got, I did so many, Wayne, hundreds of emails I sent out and crystals for anxiety and depression and a disconnect from their lower chakras and their upper chakras. And we'll talk
Mm,
about the ametrine crystals that I sent out. But you have an open system. So that means your chakras are all open, and then you do meditation and you visualize and you bring energy into your energy body, right? And
yeah.
you use energy, and you gain energy by simple things like exercising. I call them magical passes. Okay. So you have to, when you can shift and see, like Dr. Miller talked, and you can see that the world, that we are actually luminous eggs, as I'll call it. And we actually are luminous fibers. And like I said before, our connection to our grid and our world, when you can see it, comes from our solar plexus above our navel. And we actually have luminous fibers that shoot out from our middle, so not from our heart. So that's why even when we talk about love and our hearts, but we actually feel everything with our gut, right? We get a gut
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah,
you get
that's where we get
anxious,
it. Yeah.
so even though you're doing the love from your heart and the vibration, it still all is filtered through where your fibers, your come out from the middle of your stomach and where you're connected to the world that way, right?
Yes, that's a
So
gut feeling.
that's your gut feeling, your butterflies, your anxiety, your upset, your sickness, anytime and it all is felt through your middle section where that energy is located. So to have a open energy instead of a closed, that means you're open to energy in the world, and you're dreaming, meditating, you're focusing on energy and healing and trying to open up your energy instead of being closed, right? So you
Right.
can always bring in fresh new energy, cycle out anything old or blocks or anything dark out of your body, and just always cycle through. And the magical passes that I like to do, and Dr. Miller mentioned it with the Navy SEALs. Well, of course, it's going to be martial arts, Tai Chi, right?
Hmm.
Dance, sacred dancing. It's going to be yoga. Those are all energetic, spiritual type activities that all increase your energy, that enable you to start lucid dreaming and astral projecting. See, you have to build your personal power or energy to have enough to do that. And
Oh,
if
that's good.
yeah. So the
When
more
you were,
energy you have, then the better you're at it, right?
yeah, and I don't think people understand that is that, first of all, you have to be open. If you're closed-minded, if you have fear, it love how you put it because it's electrical circuit. You close the circuit off, and there's nothing going to happen. That's at least what I have found. And once you do open that circuit up, these crystals are amazing. I mean, the amethyst and I'm just showing,
Mhm.
these are ones that Karen sent to me. They're beautiful. But the thing about it is, Karen, it took about, oh, I have this all over our house. It's in our bedrooms. It's over our bed. It's on our night tables. It's in our offices. Um, I think it probably took about 3 months to clear. I think what we noticed in our home this energy. And here now it's lifted the vibration up. It's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Because of course, crystals have vibration as well as everything, or, if without frequency or vibration, we wouldn't be able to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I loved with the hermetics, and the crystals fall along with the hermetics when,
Yes.
since we study it. And I love that, well, the crystals is the first kingdom or the mineral kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, minerals are entities and they're on the other side as entities, and they're brought forth into where we can see them. And it's just like the plant kingdom or the animal kingdom and all the way up through all the kingdoms. And our lowest is the crystal kingdom. And our basis of all our world is crystalline and the crystals. And so the thing about why I have so many crystals is that, like the Hermetic said, the crystals are attracted to love and attracted to like and attracted to people that understand them and feel them and can talk to them. And that's why when I carve crystals, if you noticed, Wayne, my crystals are all beautiful people in meditation with their eyes closed, and they're all women and men mostly. And that's what comes forth as a sculpture. You just removing the material, and that's the entity that's in there from the mineral kingdom. So all my carvings, they're beautiful men and women that I feel come out of the crystal. So they definitely have power and energy for sure.
So as you
So
were talking, I'm getting this visions, these images in my head. So get this. We're carbon based. Everything that we do are, even from the molecule base going up, we're based on a carbon based system. Hear me out on this. The crystals are a life form themselves. They're silica, which lends me to think, I wonder if the ancients, when they would see these beings that I think transmuted from different dimensions, if they were silicon based, crystalline based life forms.
I think some are, yes.
You would have tremendous power, Karen. Think about it.
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
have electricity coming out of your hands.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, crystals are so powerful, Wayne. And I had one woman who's part of our group too, and she does tarots and readings and everything out of Maple Ridge. She's a really wonderful woman too, and she was the only one. She asked me about doing a crystal circle because she always wanted to have a full crystal circle. So I'm actually sending her a big piece every month till she gets a big circle so she can meditate or dream in it. And it really works because of the energy of the crystals. Because and when you do it, timing wise, like use your moon cycles, right? Or your lunar cycles. So noon moon,
New
full
moon.
moons,
Yeah.
the lunar eclipses are the most powerful. So, for example, one time when I had a crystal circle in the forest, my big circle I used to go in all the
I gotta get
time.
a crystal circle. I mean, here in the forest, I mean, talk
Yeah,
about the energy, girl.
yeah.
I
So,
mean,
so I have enough. I had a crystal circle, and I
way to
actually
go.
did it on a full lunar eclipse, which is the most powerful. This was like 97, and I was able to, no kidding, Wayne, fall into a lucid dream. And then I was able to astral project from the lucid dream, out of the lucid dream, and then astral project from there.
Wow.
Hmm. That's the crystals and timing and, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unbelievable where you can go. Yeah, right straight up to the Council of the Light Beings. Yeah, where you sit sometimes. So yeah.
They're there.
Oh yeah. So
They're
because you talk
there.
about them all the time. And I
Yeah.
was so impressed with Patrick too in our community.
Yeah.
Um,
He's a real, real gift.
Yeah, and you know what I wanted to mention about that because it came up as far as, and he was cute because the pendulum's moving so fast, yet Patrick is 3 words ahead of the pendulum already. So in
Yeah.
other words, Patrick no longer needs the pendulum to channel directly, right? So I mean, he could just go back and forth and tell you exactly, what you're asking. So it has to do with the transfer rate of information, right? So,
It is. It
and it's the
is.
same problem. I kind of want to equate that to something like what we're having with our networks nowadays and our internet, and why we're moving to 5G is because they're not finding the transfer rate fast enough for how much they can process for information for AI, right?
Hmm.
So using your fingers any longer to type in what you want to say is too slow for it, right? Even going to speech where we're saying, "Hey Siri" now, and all of that is too slow for how much it can process and how much information it wants to process as far as learning and expanding as far as AI. So when they roll out the next wave, and you'll understand this wave, Wayne, is that they want to increase the data transfer rate, and that's why the implants are so important, because we're going to go to rate visual image to image. So when you get a picture that's worth 1,000 words, or an image, right? Think about it. So that way it's going to be a transplant to go right telepathic more to image to data transfer that way. Telepath, like on that
And
level.
this is just my opinion, is that, and I know that, hey, Sue G, how are you doing? I just saw
Oh,
Sue
hi,
G. And
Sue.
hey, Sue, I hadn't seen you in a while. Well, good to see you,
Oh, she's so
Maria.
special too.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
But getting back to Patrick, Patrick, the thing that I have found with Patrick is that when him and I are, in tandem, the I'm seeing the imagery, and channeling is exactly what it is. People always say, "Well, you should be careful about it," but every
Well,
holy book that's out there was channeled.
well, let's talk about just the word channeling, because that same girl asked about channeling. But what is channeling? It's the same thing as meditating, as daydreaming, as a thought you have that comes into your head, as
You know
when
what it
when
is?
you do your automatic writing.
Yeah.
When I we met a wonderful shaman out of Copenhagen as well, and I think we're going to run out of time, but you have to look at his artwork. I posted it on my YouTube, and there's a short one and a longer one. And I'm telling you, Wayne, it's sacredness, and he channeled all of that artwork and
Mhm.
didn't like, only looks at it after he comes out, and the sacred geometry with it, and the counter rotation, and what he's showing in his artwork is unbelievable, actually, and as far as astral travel and the universe and what he's portraying,
See,
and and pictures of your void that you sort of had, and the universe, and I posted it just on my YouTube, and I was hoping we would get to it, but I wanted to quickly go over
your
some of the
YouTube channel is what, Karen?
just
I
under
didn't.
just under Queen of Quartz. That you
Okay.
can, it, but I have it
Uh-huh.
posted there, and I have it on my
Okay.
Facebook. But it's something we might want to look at, but or just some of the responses are getting is, if you have eyes to see, because he even shows the luminous egg, and just the importance of the fourth phase of water with Jerry Pollock, and energy and space, and just it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there's secret symbols all over.
Channeling, how I see it, is that it's like having a remote control of about a billion different frequencies. You get channeled into a particular channel, and I have found it. People have different words. You could call it the Akashic record. You can call it whatever it is, but it's alive. It's vibrant. It flows, I believe, through the multiplane of existence, and that's how it has to.
Mhm.
There has to be a commonality against with dimensions, and I think
Oh,
crystals play a huge role in that.
oh, definitely, because it's your base level, right? And you can,
Hmm.
if you understand the crystals and the energy and how to use them, you can go right from the base level all the way up to the highest kingdom from, starting
Yeah.
in with the crystals. So, though they're wonderful. So, what else would I want to? I really wanted to cover, Wayne, and some of the uses. I had so many people ask about. How to like clear or charge crystals, and that
Yeah,
type
let's
of
talk
thing,
about
and
that.
healing.
How
So
do,
let's
how do
go
you?
over a little bit quickly.
Okay.
Now, I want everybody to realize there's no right way or wrong way. Actually, listen to yourself about even to the point about what crystal to use, at any given time. If you're sitting there and it says, you pick up the smoky quartz one, use that one, well, then take that one. Just listen to yourself. But with the crystals, for clearing them, okay, if you want to clear them, you can use water, of course. Salt water is one of the best ways to clear crystals. So you can put a lot of them in water, salt water. You can put them directly in some crystals. You can put them under the moon or sun, depending if you're a water person or if you're a water person, put them in water. If you're a moon person or a night person, people that like the dark or the moon, you might want to charge them by the moon. If you're a sun person and like the sun and a sun goddess, you might want to charge your crystals under the sun.
How long do you leave them there? How long do you leave them there?
In various cycles, it depends. Like, believe it or not, the crystals that I mailed out to everybody were in 14-year cycle. I had them clearing and charging under two full Saturn cycles. So they were out for about 14 years. So most of them, yeah. So, but yeah, it just depends. Moon to moon, or you can put some, it can be just days, because for me, you can use smudging, works really well to clear energy from crystals. So you can use your sage or your sweetgrass or cedar. So smudging works to get rid of negative energy. Visualization works, right? That's what I use the most myself. Like I use my imagination the most. You hold your crystal.
Now, do you hold the crystal, and
Definitely,
how does that work?
Yeah, you hold the crystal, and with anything you're doing, as far as whether it's clearing it, whether you're charging it, whether you want to program it, whether you're going to use it for healing, you hold the crystal. And as you know, Wayne, when you go into any kind of meditative or altered state, right, just close your eyes. And what you're going to do is you're going to imagine a white light, say, above your head, coming in from your crown chakra. So you start off from the top of your head, and you visualize the light growing larger and larger and bigger. And then you let the light enter through your crown chakra and down through, right?
Yeah.
The top of your head and through, and you make it come through all your chakras and go through all your body and into the crystal, right? You want to either clear or charge the crystal. So you want to put the light into the crystal, right? Mm-hmm. And what you can do is, if you have an illness, you can put the crystal after it's charged too, as well, on whatever part of your body is sore, you want healing. And then the same way as you picture the light coming into your body, either from lying down from your feet or your head, depending whether you want to be north or south at the time. And you picture the light coming up through your feet or the head. We'll start with feet and go up through the feet, and then you let it flow up to wherever the crystal's sitting. Say you had it on your abdomen, and you had, say, digestive problems, and so you let the white light come up into the crystal. You picture all of the blackness or the darkness within the illness, whether it's cancer or whether anything, and you picture that blackness being pushed out by the light and out of the, pull the darkness into the crystal, push the light into the crystal and out, and you can continue it up through your body and the light and out your body. So you can use the crystal to charge, that way, to take the illness out or to put the light in, right, to program it. Now, what we can do with frequencies, and there's so many charts on the internet, you just have to go on, but they have frequency and vibration charts, and all the healers know this. There's so many, Wayne, that if you look at, they'll have certain crystals and certain colors that match up with frequency. Certain organs are a certain tone, and certain musical notes match up with a frequency and tone. So you just have to look at the charts, right? So that, for example, say I noticed with most people with the anxiety and the depression, the disconnect, I sent them the ametrines, which are a very special crystal. They were all the ones that had the 3 layers of the clear crystal and the amethyst and the citrine on the top, right? So you have all 3 in one, very rare. And so that you had the clearness of the clarity and communication of the clear quartz crystal for your third eye and upper to help with that block. And then the amethyst was for your crown chakra and healing and balance. and so take the upper chakras. And the citrine is used for your solar plexus. It's yellow and orange, and it pulls up from, yep, here they are here, some of the ametrines for sure. And you see the different layers. And
Yeah.
I sent full crystals. And so the ametrine, the citrine is for taking any negative energy and turning it positive. It's for balance, it's for digestion, and for connecting. Those crystals will connect your lower chakras, yeah, and to your upper chakras, and connect the disconnect, and connect the two lower halves, and wait the energy that to heal that disconnect and open up your energy system to have the energy flow is amazing. So those I sent out for everybody that needed crystals for healing because of the trifold. They're used for dreaming, because again it connects opens up your third eye and your crown chakra.
I want to say this, and pardon me for interrupting here, but
no, go ahead.
if you folks, let me tell you, you put this into your bedroom, and we literally have it on the nightstand. We have it on the headboard. We have it under the bed, amethyst. And I'll tell you, things come alive. That's the only thing I'll say.
Yeah, sleep with it. Put it under pillow. Dreaming. Now, for the people that want to use it for dreaming, what I do is I have my own dream crystals, of course, and you can put one in each hand, right and left hand, right? And sleep with them, right? Because when the whole point of lucid dreaming is to try to wake up in your dream and know that you are dreaming, but then you're awake and you have full control in that reality. So it's quite hard to do. But one of the things that you can practice doing is you have to try to look at your hands in your dream. So hence, if you hold the crystals and can focus on the crystals when you're falling asleep and feel them in your hand and the energies, you can focus on the look of your crystals in your hand. So it's easy then that when you fall asleep to then be able to wake up in your dream and have lucid dreams and see your hands and be able to start moving around on that.
That's a very good point. I love how you're putting, because most people are not disciplined in their dreams. But if you can,
it takes a lot of work, actually,
Yeah.
and practice. It really does. And there's many different things you can do to learn how to lucid dream and astral project. But crystals can really, really help for sure.
I love these purple ones. I'll tell you.
Yeah, those are star amethysts that you see there with the black and the tips along the axis. Those are pretty special too.
They are powerful. I'm just drawn to this, psychically. I look at that, and it's just.
Now, something else I wanted to mention before, I also sent out to most of our healers, and they'll know who they are. I sent them out big Herkimer diamonds, which are very clear, or very clear quartz. And then on the other hand, I gave them smoky quartz, or black crystals. So all of those people that received those crystals, one clear and one black, and like I said, it was mostly for those healers. Those were for them to be able to bring both their energies together from their both sides, left, right, and from, into the middle, into the balance of the yin qing, into the middle section, and bring all the energies in and focus them to use in healing and push them out before they're healing. So they knew I sent lots of pairs of those out to all our healers.
What are these, Karen? They are beautiful, man.
That, believe it or not, is such a rare little thing. That's a really weird little crystal.
I want this. If you got this.
But it's crystal orthoclase, and in that middle is an artery, and it's a hematite artery that comes out. I've got tons of pictures, and you do a side view. I'm not sure, but it's the most amazing. It was supposed to go to a museum, actually. There's another piece of it. And it's all full of crystals. And it was part of, like I said, there's a big cluster that sort of looks like this, but huge, that went to the Royal Ontario Museum, actually. So, yeah. And this shows from the same dig site. So this was the quartz crystal piece. And see, there's a big chunk of hematite, and you can see the shape. Yeah. And it's after it, and the hematite in the middle. And that's from two different mines, actually. This was from Steep Rock, and that was from a mine called.
I really want. Do you have any more? What do we?
I have that piece. I have that piece.
Let's talk afterwards.
Well, I don't have it here though. But
okay,
that's the thing. But yeah,
look at this.
It's a very interesting piece. A lot of these are very rare, very out of this world pieces, this quartz crystals that I was getting
Look
from
at this.
mine. Yeah. So
I'm sure that there is uniqueness. Yeah, I look at this and I go, oh, how
yeah,
much I don't know.
I sent crystals out every color of the rainbow. I had them from different hydrothermal pockets, and we talked about this as far as the creation, and these were, most of them were dreamed on the other side with two other crystal dreamers in a triad
Yeah.
years ago, and we would meet up in mining adventures in the astral realm on the other side of the veil. And we would go on mining adventures, and we would mine and dig them, and then we'd talk ahead of time about what we wanted to create, and we'd create them on the other side, find them, and then within a week or 2 weeks, I was pulling them out of the ground in the hydrothermal pockets. So, so that's why, they're rare. Like I have every color of quartz from clear all the way to pink to peach to um,
Such a
red to orange to yellow to, I have every color of the rainbow you could imagine, because we were just crazy about trying to think about what we could create. It was wild.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to get some more up here that so you have these
Mm.
are I guess the hematites.
Yeah. So as far as the crystals, yeah, and I gave out lots for dreaming. So it's just a matter of using them, putting your power in. Those are hematite, yeah.
Yeah.
Putting your power into them, your own personal power, holding them often, meditate with them, put pictures of images into them, of love, whatever healing feelings you want for yourself or
Mm.
energy into the crystals. Practice with that. Especially the healers, they're great for using for focus and intent, to focus and intent, you know.
And I'm trying to show you folks. You need to go to her website. It's in the bottom down here.
Yeah.
Um, Karen, it's remarkable what you have accomplished.
Yeah,
And
that was a dodecahedron.
right over
Um,
this one here.
yeah, yeah, those are garnets. Garnets that came out of a big garnet trench. That's what's called a dodecahedron, which is a really cool stone. Yeah, it
That
has
is
lots of
far
power
out.
to it. That was a big garnet. That garnet was almost an ounce.
Really?
Pendant, yeah, it was like 23
Wow.
point some grams or something. Actually, it yeah, went out already to somebody. So, what else should we cover? Did anybody have any questions? Because
Well, here,
I
let me.
wanted to, I wanted to cover. We covered some clearing. We covered about
Let me see.
smudging, meditating, could clear and charge. Put them in water. You can put them under the sun, under the moon, to clear or charge both ways. Um, you can use them in grid patterns. Somebody asked about that. I had pictures of that. So that's with the crystal circles, right?
Someone said
So
that hematite is good for
hematite.
hematite is good for reducing pain.
Yes, it's good
Yeah.
for grounding too.
Yeah.
For people, it's one of the darker black metals. Tourmaline's good. I sent out lots of, some tourmaline. Um, what else? Well, just a little bit of everything. They went
Yeah,
to so
people.
many, different purposes. I got so many emails for all kinds of things, Wayne. So, and it
I
was
think
just
you're going to get a lot more.
wonderful. Yeah. So what I was going to say for Christmas here.
Well, go ahead.
Go to my website actually. I do have special ametrine ready for Christmas. I gave out tons of pendants to people as well
Let's
that
just
needed
go
them.
to your home
Yeah.
website, folks. It's the link is down there. Just look right down in the description section. You'll see her website right here. I'm going to pull it up here.
I
So
just
this
wanted
is
to
your homepage.
go to my shop for a second.
Okay,
But for Christmas, what I did was, and I had
there
there,
you
see.
go.
Now there's those special ametrine crystals. You can see them that with the clear, the purple, the amethyst. You were right on the page, the other one. But
Oh,
and they have well, no, these are them too. But they're
yeah.
all silver, and I started using copper because both are good transmitters and receivers of you know energy, right? So I use them for a reason. And so these pendants usually go $80 to $100, but if anybody wants one for Christmas, you can $50, but they're just really powerful healing crystals for anybody and they're like I said, the clear with the amethyst and the citrine, and
Beautiful.
they're phantom quartz crystals too. So
Cool.
we didn't even get into the phantom part where you have the phantom crystals underneath for your phantom self when you meditate. They're good too. So these are all
So
phantom.
phantom crystal, I love that.
Mhm.
Phantom
Well,
amethyst.
how when the
Okay.
structure, because when crystals are formed, right, these have
Yeah.
actual crystals inside crystals along the axes. So they actually have crystals inside of crystals that are called phantom crystals in their
Cool.
formation. So these are actually quite rare. So these are on special for $50. So for anybody, thought that one's sold, those sold.
All
But
these are sold?
yeah, but I have all those other ones. They're all the same,
Okay. All right.
basically. So I have about 15 or 16 pendants available for Christmas. I'm selling them for $50. I put that on there for our family, for our community. So hopefully people, if they want them for Christmas. Now, the other thing I
You
wanted
only
to
have
say,
14 because I'm buying one right now. So
I can make a few more. So there'll be about
yeah.
15, 16. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sent quite a few out to special people too that needed special help and favors too. So just because they're so healing, they're so powerful, those crystals. So many people sent beautiful gifts too, and artwork and different things from the whole show. It was just fabulous. So the other thing I want to do for Christmas too, Wayne, because there's probably other healers. If you're a healer, you do tarot, any kind of readings for people, or any kind of spiritual work of any kind, just email me, and I'll still send you free crystals to anybody that's doing any kind of light work or anything to help people. If you're doing that, I'll still send out the free gifts. So I'll start
Wow.
doing that as soon as I start getting
Wow.
more emails. I just finished sending out the last one like last week.
Well,
It's
get
still
ready
getting
for the
some
next
more,
wave.
So
'Cause,
yeah. So
yeah.
I'll do another mail out for everybody.
Karen, you're such a beautiful, beautiful spirit.
Oh,
I just
Wayne, you
so,
are. It's just
you know,
your
no,
family's growing so large over the last year. It's just amazing, and I just
it's
find everybody so wonderful, and
yeah,
the love that flows, and the support, and the information, and I
it's
can even say for myself, I've learned so much. And when you have to when you do things for people, you learn on the way. Like with a
yeah.
lot of it, I wrote handwritten notes and had to really think. And some I did help whole families. I even sent crystals for every person in a family if they were ill and needed things. So I just really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to make
Well,
sure everybody in our family had the crystals. And they do want to. I get emails about when once everybody gets enough of them, whether we're going to do a group
we will. I'd love to do that. Bring you back
meditation.
on.
Yeah, and then because there's a certain frequency that we can do with your crystals. We didn't get into with which vibrations to use and which frequencies with your crystals and what to program. But what we can do is we can have the sound, going at this, during the meditation while everybody has their crystals and while we're
Mm.
visualizing, and we'll have the tone that we need for programming, because it comes, from more like chanting or throat singing to program. It's more of a tone, not words, right?
You know,
Because you think of an image, right? If you think
yeah.
of a whole image, it's 1,000 words. So picture an image, what you want to program, and not say necessarily words.
We had to do
And
this on New Year's Eve. Did you hear?
New Year's Eve?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I mean, listen, we have to begin to project. I think there is some rough times coming next year, and this community needs to begin to do what we can to counter that. And, the healing takes place, and I think it would be a great, so it's 2 weeks away. Let's think about it.
Okay.
I think
All
that'd
right.
be a great way to enter. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't do the New Year's Eve celebrating going out, but I think the best way to bring it in is
Yeah.
project what it
Together.
is that you want.
I would love to do that. I don't generally go out. I'm still in the mountains in the cabin, so and still
See
mining
about
because
Suji and get some other people
yeah.
on here. And
And
that would be great. Some healers. So
yeah,
you healers who want to come on, send me an email and we'll see what we can do about getting things going.
yeah. And if anybody needs a crystal for then maybe that want to participate and don't have one from, make sure to email me and I'll try to send one out to you before the meditation and before the big crystal.
Let's do
So,
this. Let's.
so
I'll
I'll
start
send,
giving it.
I'll send out a
Let's
few.
meditate on this. I think this would be a good idea.
It'd be great if Patrick was there too with his
I'll
pendulum.
try to bring it in. I just so admire Patrick. He
We could ask questions for the new year. You know what I mean? We could do
might
questions.
be a very good idea because New Year's is on Tuesday, so we probably won't be.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
see.
think it is. So that
Oh,
might work
Tuesday
out.
would be fabulous. So we could do a
Yeah.
night show instead, and maybe Patrick would come on at night with us.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
that be it? That'd be
It would be the new year for him. Definitely. I'll have to ask him.
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
let's see
yeah.
about doing that. Well, Karen, boy, time travels.
Oh, I know, and I didn't even cover half of what I wanted to cover.
Well,
I
we're
had
going to
so
have you back on.
I had so
So,
many questions, and I really wanted to cover some other things, but no, that's okay. I can
I
answer
think,
them in
well,
email.
I think we'll have it.
So,
I think we'll do the New Year's thing. I think that may be an
okay.
opportunity to address some of that as well.
Yeah, I'd love it. And then I'd be able to be with, for that period of time, the rest of the
Yeah.
community and the family and start the
Mhm.
new year with loving people and
Yeah.
vibrations and frequency to start the new year. That would be lovely.
So you have to let other readers play too. So Sue, are you up for this? Sue G.
Well, we'll wait.
Hello. So, well, Karen, you are just fantastic.
No, you are. Thank you so
You
much again,
know,
everybody, for having me
you
on.
are generous. I just invoke favor in your life that which you've given be returned back to you. I believe in the 100-fold factor. So
Definitely.
absolutely.
And that's the crystals too. I have so many, 100-fold need to go out to everybody else. So yeah, so it's all still free.
You are just a blessing. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you,
All right, good
everybody.
folks.
Love everybody.
You be good to everyone. Good, Sue. You have just been recruited.
Oh, good.
All right, Sue. I'll tell you, this will be fantastic. We'll get other people on there. I think we'll have a great panel, and I'm looking forward to this, Karen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too.
okay.
Good night,
All my
everybody.
best. All right, my dear. We'll see you back. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Karen, I'm going to go to your website right after because I'm buying some for my wife. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Much love to you. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you real soon. All right. Bye-bye, folks. See ya. Bye-bye, Karen. Thank you.
Bye. Love everybody.
Bye-bye.